let's do a guide. So one of the most powerful scaling builds is the Baphomet build. And there is a variation on that makes it even more powerful. And that is if you combine it with Ascension. Because the one downside of the 666 Baphomet build is obviously that you lose all the money you hold whenever a 666 triggers. And when you ascend, then that goes away, and instead you make even more money from your 666s because they turn into 999s, and you will get all the money from the last 999. So you have an additional layer of scaling. Now that thing is a little tricky to set up if you want to do it ideally. So let's look at some charms in a second here. Before we look at some charms, we're going to play this on First Love with the extra phone abilities because we do want the most amount of charm spaces mostly. That's the biggest boon in this one. The alternative would be to go with extra activations from the nuclear button, which is this here, Overdose, which would give you more activations on the phone, thus more activations of Baphomet. But it's not necessary because we will get the phone down to just one charge anyways. And this just helps more, and this also helps you get set up a little faster. So let's start a new run with First Love. You can do this on any game mode. This just makes it a little easier. So let's look at some charms. What do we need to get this run going? There's a couple of charms that we will need in the end. We are gonna want the megaphone mostly for the extra charm space. Other than that, it's not really important. We are gonna want the nuclear button to get more phone activations. Obviously, we want the property certificate because more charms is helpful, even though it's not really necessary. We are gonna want expired meds. We are going to want, maybe we can use the Lost Wallet if we find it. We can use the CloverPit if we find it. They just help, especially early on. For the end build, they're not necessary, but still they do scale and they help. But we do want to get out of ticket scaling eventually because the game will break if we do that. Obviously, we want the cardboard house, we want to double it. Then we do want this guy, the potato battery, will be an important part of the build because we will double trigger the phone with the nuclear button, which means we will always have 2 spins in a row that do not have any reward. Then this will charge all of our other charms. And since we will get the phone down to 1 charge, this will just retrigger, will just fully recharge the phone. What else do we want? The very big mushroom is nice, especially with the vine soup. Those two in combination, they just help you get ahead in your deadlines, so you can make more money in the current deadline without scaling from deadline to deadline. But they're not strictly necessary because we are going to scale exponentially from deadline to deadline anyways. Beware of this guy. This guy is not going to work with what we're going to do. It can help early on, but at some point we want to get rid of it. Same with CloverPit, very powerful early on to get our tickets going so we can find the stuff we need. But at the end of the day, we do not want the CloverPit because the overflowing tickets is going to ruin the game. We're going to use Barathrum mostly for the extra charm space once again, so we get 6 extra charm spaces with the megaphone, Barathrum, and the extra trigger from our memory card. What else? This is useful because it scales exponentially within the round. Not necessary, but useful. The bell pepper can be very strong until we get to our final build because you can basically guarantee it will generate jackpots So very good for scoring until we have our build set up, which takes a little while and is very finicky. Definitely Baphomet, obviously, our major scaling machinery. Doubling the value of above and below, guaranteed for every 666, which we will be able to trigger actively, is just exponential scaling. The phone is gonna be what triggers Baphomet. With the nuclear button, it's gonna trigger twice. So we have two 666s, which means we always get a guaranteed 4x on our up and down patterns. The evil deal, very strong also early on with the flower pot to get our tickets going. Later down the line, we do not need this. We definitely want to get rid of the flower pot, how's it called? The Clover pot. But this, we could keep it because it does double the multipliers, but it's once again not necessary. Book of Shadows we will have in the build just because it gives us more spins. What else are we going to use? We're probably gonna for a while use the Crystal Sphere just to get our patterns stronger if we find it, and if it comes along nicely. We are gonna want to use the Raging Capitalist or any other source of tickets early on to get the economy going. The Fortune Teller can help to get some multiplier for our patterns, or to get our pattern base values up, so the multiplier has a stronger effect. We want to avoid all of the golden charms, and I'm going to explain why in a second. We will, however, use the stone charms for tickets in conjunction with the Raging Capitalist. And then these are going to be our bread and butter, because what we are going to do is we're going to use the expired mats in combination with the aces to get all the symbols except the 7s to the same value. I like to aim for 30 because that works between 2, 3, and 5. But it doesn't always work out that way. Most of the time I end up having to do 60 just because while the Ace of Clubs is perfectly controllable, how often you trigger it, the Ace of Hearts and the Ace of Diamonds are very finicky to use, and there's a good to fair chance they overshoot because we don't have a guarantee to find a setup and a strong enough baseline to control them fine. The Ace of Spades we will not use. Jimbo we can use if we find one that gives us minus spins, if we need to fine tune one of the aces. Then we have all the holy charms, which we are going to use once the time comes to elevate our 999 build scaling. Just be very careful once the build is online. You do not want the body because it gives the golden modifier to certain symbols, and that would screw up our setup with the expired mats. This one is fine, the blood you can have. I recommend not having it because it makes the game run slower, and you don't want it to run slow, probably. Definitely do not have the body. Eternity is great, Adam's Ribcage is great, and Ophanim Wheels are also great, even though not necessary, because we will always have jackpots due to our build with the expired mats. We will have the corpse pieces because we need to ascend. So now let's get into how to play this out. Okay, early game, we're just going to start as we usually do. We want to stabilize, we want to get ahead of the curve. And there is the ring bell, which is very strong early on. And we can use it a couple times, we just can't use it all too often, and we need to be careful with charms that increase base values of symbols because we do want to stop at 30 or 60. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to grab the fake coin, play for 3 spins here, These early spins rarely matter, so let's just get through those. Okay. 2 activations on the lucky charm and some decent symbols. That's a very strong first round. Now we can get the bell, and we do roll because we want to see the skull. Excellent. So we know we have the skull. And now what we can do is we can go for, the skull is 3, so we go for 7 spins here.
Let's go.
Ring the bell. Now all we want is to make as much money as we possibly can, which, without any lucky charms to actually help us score, is tricky early on. But we are relatively stable, 48 already in the pocket. We need 63 at the very least, because with the corpse pieces and the skull, our debt is going to be 93. So we're going to need 15 more at least. I hope we find some more, but 3 spins is not a lot. There is still a chance we just die here. Ah, okay, now we're good. Excellent. So that was the first deadline. Now let's grab the skull, grab our corpse pieces, and move on to deadline number 2. Now what we really want is to get our ticket economy going. So let's see what we have in terms of charms. We can equip everything here. CloverPit is useful. The pony also very useful. So we need 14. We can roll once exactly, so let's do that. Nothing here that we want. We couldn't afford anything anyways. We don't want to do that. We want to wait until we have the megaphone and Barathrum. We could get more diamonds early on, and that helps immensely. We could double the jackpot value. We do have a horse, so we would quadruple. That would be a very strong start. Yeah, let's do that. So we quadruple our jackpot value, so it's now times 40. We also have the bell. So what we want to do is we want to keep the pony in the drawer for now. Then we want to roll for tickets, because economy is the name of the game. Look at that. We are lucky. Okay. Now the bell is back online. Grab this money. Grab the pony. Anything else we want to grab? No. This is fine. So we have a guaranteed jackpot in here. We're gonna spin for tickets.
Let's go.
Ring the bell. Let's see what we get. And last spin is gonna be our jackpot. It is gonna be lemons. Well, that's not ideal, but still with 840 from this one spin, this and the next round are basically guaranteed. We can ring the bell one more time, then our 7s will be at 28 value, and we are set up strong to get everything else to 30. We want to do some re-rolling here, because we still don't have economy. We could use disc C. I like that early on. I would love something that gives us tickets though. This we want to wait until we can duplicate it. There's no... This is kinda ticket econ. It's not great. It's not what I was thinking about. I think we can do better. We have a lot of money here. This very strong early on, but we do not have the tickets. Neither can we get to the amount of tickets we need. Otherwise, this would be great. No. Here is Abyssu for the extra charm space, but we can get that later. There's no hurry. We can get the Hourglass. That's 3 tickets for the price of 1. Very good early on. Cigarettes are interesting. We can use them a couple times until everything is close to where we want it, but we already used the bell, so probably we don't want to use cigarettes here. Extra spins, no. I should deposit here so we can roll without having to think. It's getting rough. We could consider the locomotive. I don't hate that idea. We could also intentionally trigger the Ankh, which is something I like to do. And I think we will. So we don't want to score. So let's get the locomotive. Let's continue rolling for ticket econ. Okay. This may change my mind. So let's see here. Do we want this? It's 3. So I think we do. But we can't because we have to trigger this guy. Is there a charm we can sell? We can sell the ring bell. Yeah, so I think that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna spin for 2 tickets. Still looking for ticket econ. That is the biggest leverage early on. We now have 2 tickets out of the 3 we need for that guy. So I kind of want to trigger you again. I think we can live without the voicemail for now. So let's get this bad boy. And let's get him amped up. Oh, here is our ticket economy. Welcome, mister. Do we have enough stuff? No, we can't. This doesn't give us something. I want to use you. Now I'm in a pickle. Because I would have rolled this guy. Would have to roll this guy away. I need to find 3 tickets. So I need to get rid of basically all the scaling we have, which is very sad. 1. Ouch. So we don't do the Ankh. I think we should do the Ankh. So we get rid of you. And the Clover pot will come back around. It doesn't do much early on. We take you. And now we roll. We can't buy anything, which is sad because these 2 would be very good purchases, but we need to trigger the Ankh. So let's equip this record and let's just ignore the good things we cannot take because we can only roll until the Ankh activates here. Oh, yeah. We probably can't. I screwed up. I really wanted to trigger the Ankh. Well, I guess we won't. So that's a good reason not to deposit your money. That's my bad. So what did we get here? This doesn't do much for us at all. This could be useful. Very useful. We don't need the Necronomicon at all. It's a multiplier, a useful one. So what's on the phone? This is going to be a red phone call. Deadline 3 always starts with a red phone call. We want to ascend, so we don't use this. We do, however, want to roll. That's very nice. We have this guy, so we can potentially extend this deadline, which we probably are going to want to do. So let's do that right away. Put you in a drawer, grab you, make some space, and grab you. And then you can go back in a drawer. The fun of drawer management. Good. Our utility is in the drawers, and let's go. We start with 7 spins here, because now we have the capitalist.
Let's go get
So we do want to max out all our spin gains. The bell pepper, obviously we didn't reroll a lot at all, so it's not gonna do a lot for us. This is natural luck here, very nice. The other pepper, that was not very strong. And this is very nice. Okay, we made a little bit of money, so we can roll a little bit for the bell pepper. Grab this money. We have 3 rounds left because of the clock. So keep our eyes peeled for this guy. That's very nice. We are at the limit. So I think out of all of these, we don't need this one. We now have double the activations on our bell pepper, which is going to carry us for a while. An argument to be made here for the golden pepper, because it is obsessive. The Retrigger is nice. This also is a very strong charm, the D4. Maybe we put away the clock until we find a recharge. We can't afford anything here, so it's not relevant. Also, I should have used the coupon or the fidelity card. How are we doing on the bell pepper? Plus 10. We need 3 more rolls. 1, 2, and 1 more roll. Oh, that's nice. We do like that. So now, every time we activate the bell pepper, which is going to be twice as often, we are guaranteed a jackpot, which is going to have a high chance of having at least 1 modifier to get more tickets. We can just equip the clock here. It doesn't hurt. So let's do 7 spins. Give the bell pepper a chance to shine. And our economy is online. The first tickets are coming in. Here's our first jackpot with no ticket modifier. That's very sad. To be expected, 5% chance out of 15 symbols is not an expected ticket. Here is a ticket in a decent spot, so we are now at 8 tickets, just like that. Which is gonna allow us to buy more charms, which will increase the percentage on the raging capitalist. So the self-feeding cycle has begun. We want to put you in a drawer and definitely get you. And I did forget the fidelity card again. This is free. An obvious take. Interesting here. This doesn't do anything yet, so put it in a drawer. But it's going to help us. You're free. And then we can throw you out. Do we want this bathroom? I don't think we do, because I think actually we do, and we put it in storage because we are not going to be using cigarettes, and we still need to guarantee that we find the stuff we need, and we want it for the charm spaces. So keep it. Is this a good Jimbo? Not an amazing Jimbo. There's Baphomet. Very early. I don't like it to have these things too early. I want to keep the extra spin. So what else could we... Oh, we don't need that anymore. So the clock can wait in a drawer. Pick the freebie. Throw it away. Early Baphomet, very good, but we do need charm spaces. We can take it for now. There's another free one. So now we gotta decide, what do we get rid of? And the wallet is gonna come back around. and we just torched all our income, so that's gonna be fine. Put something in a drawer. Maybe not you. I don't know if it. So another free charm. There's the Clover pot. We can't afford it, but we could make it so we can by playing one round. And I think now that we have the capitalist, we will. Once again, making sure that we are online. What do we not need now? We don't need this guy. Equip the coin. We don't want to deposit because we're going to make sure that we can utilize the Ankh.
Let's go.
Now we just hope for bell pepper activations to get a bunch of tickets. Here's the bell pepper. And not a single ticket. Wow. Out of now 13%. That's a little disappointing. Here's not a 666. Okay. Another bell pepper with 2 tickets. That's nice. Financially, we are very safe, no issues whatsoever. So we are fine to just continue doing what we do. We now have 12 tickets. We want the Clover pot. What do we get rid of? It's very hard with this crowded table. Maybe we already don't need the fidelity card anymore, even though I would like to get you higher than 13. Not clear. I think the disc C is probably the least important part. Get the Clover pot. Hold it in storage. And now try to cycle the freebies. The Ace of Diamonds. That's useful. We could get our first symbols to potentially 30. Let's maybe do that. Let's work on that. So we want 3 triggers on that. We want only 3. That's the tricky part. So we're not going to trigger the coin as of now. We're going to wait what happens here, because we don't want it to overshoot. Otherwise we have to go to 60. We don't get bell pepper activations here at all, which makes it tricky. There's the bell pepper once. Okay. That's 1 trigger. So we're now at 20. No natural ones, so let's add another spin. There's another trigger. Give me 1 more. Sad. Okay. Now we are in what I call a pickle. So, as you see, 25, we need 1 activation, and 1 activation only. That's the tricky part. If we are too lucky, well, we activate it too often. I mean, we could risk it. First of all, we need to trigger the Ankh. For that, we need to get rid of something. So let's for now get rid of the ancient coin. And where is the Ankh? Here it is. Now we spin it down. Spin away all the money. On the way, we could juice up the capitalist. I don't hate that idea. Maybe we don't risk it with the Ace of Diamonds. Instead, we wait for another chance down the line. I think that makes sense. So we can keep this. We can do this for the capitalist. There's another thing for the capitalist. Good. I mean, we can keep it for now. Who knows if we find something else. Capitalist at 18, so we need 7 more things. I think it's absolutely positively worth it to buy these guys if they're only costing 1. Free, of course. We are now at 21. We are now at 23. Good. Useful. Here's a Bible, and we don't need. We could get the wallet again. I do like the idea of getting the Book of Shadows. Gives us extra spins, should we need those. This is way too early. It would be great as obsessive. It would be great to have it right now, but we won't have it right now. I hope we can get rid of all our money here. Restocks are getting expensive. I would hate if we have to already move on to the next deadline, but we might just have to, depending on how this pans out. Can we get some upgrades here? Nope. I would really like... this is kind of a bit close with our money. We might be able to pull it off. We are not able to pull it off again. That's very annoying. I was hoping we maybe find... Oh, wouldn't you know? And you? Okay, so we have Barathrum. So we gotta throw out the clock, which is fine. Now, this Ankh really didn't work out for us, huh? Get this ace. I think the Ankh, maybe we can use it next round. I don't think we're gonna have the space, so it's probably gonna die there. Let's get you. And now we just move on. Sadly, this was the red call. We do not take that. Now we have Barathrum and the Megaphone. That changes things, because otherwise I would have tried not to get a clean phone call. Instead forces 666 here. I did not equip the CloverPit, did I? Even though we had it. That was a significant misplay. So here what we want is the extra charm space, and we don't want anything else. No. Okay. We don't get it right away. We have the pepper, so let's start rolling. 2. We can roll a little bit. 3, 4. The expired meds, which we do want at some point. That point is not right now, but it would be very useful to start, because we need to find them again, and that can be very annoying. So I think this is where we get rid of the loyalty card, fidelity card. I think that's a translation situation. Fidelity and loyalty, similar concepts, not the same. Let's get rid of you, and I misplayed, as said. So what we can get rid of, we will find another Book of Shadows. You wait in the drawer, and you come into play, and then nothing in here. Okay, we have one more roll we can do. Yes, So let's do that roll. And grab the interest, and now we just want tickets. That's the sort of irony I like, getting a trigger on the bell pepper and the sixes. This is the sort of trigger we are looking for, yes. Lots of tickets, nothing to show for it. Here we go, here we go. Yes. Now we really want to force the charm space here because it's already getting crowded. But we do need early wiggle room, so this is very important to do. Do we have... yeah, we are... it's up to 16. That's a good place to be. 34 tickets. Now just give me the phone option that I'm looking for. There it is. Now we will be right back. We will... where's bathroom? Here. Equip you. Put you into storage. And get the megaphone. We are fully set up. We have 8 charm spaces. Now we have 11 charm spaces. Now we have 14. Put you in a drawer where you belong. We can equip you, we can equip you, we can equip you for now. And the bell pepper is at 10, so we want to reroll 3 more times at least. 1. There is the phone. That it guarantees ascension, so we take the phone. 2. 3. Oh, the bell. The bell is perfect. It is perfect. Let's get the bell here and not yet use it. Yeah. So we want 7 more triggers on the lemons. So let's do 7 spins here. Yes. Ideally we just get 6 spins, but it doesn't look like we will. Maximum 5, unless we are insanely lucky here. Yeah. Just 1. Maybe 2? Yeah, 2. But look at the tickets. That's juicy. So do we want to trigger anything here? I don't think so. We're gonna hold out on that. The last spin, 666. That triggers Baphomet, which we like. 2 in a row, 1.5% chance. The 2 last ones, we don't care, but this can be quite annoying. So if you want 5 more activations, let's go for 7 more spins. I'm hoping that we actually get 4. Because then ring the bell once is perfect. 1. That's 2. Good. Don't do it. Good. Very good. That's number 3. Perfection. Now I didn't want an extra spin there, but hey. Don't do it. Don't do it. Do it now? No. Do it now. Yes. Oh, glorious. Okay, we're doing fine. So now we have 28, we have 25. That's perfection. Now what we do is we Get rid of this ace. We do not want to see it ever again. Because the clovers and the bells are the easiest to control. That's glorious. So now we still have this Ankh, which I don't see that Ankh seeing any use. Let's roll. This we don't need anymore. We don't use the cigarettes, even though we could once, but we have the bell, which does the same thing. We could get some scaling, gives us some room. We don't need scaling, we have charm space. So why not? No and no. Maybe the restocks. Because we cannot use the cigarettes, they are useful. The nuclear button, you say. Well. Let's just put that guy in a drawer, because we don't want to use it. Otherwise we mess up the one thing we don't want to mess up. Always take this. Abyssu. I do want you in case we get the extra charm space, which is not unlikely. Glory. The ace of clubs. So what we do now is we put something in a drawer, and that something is gonna be the clover pot. Am I going to forget that again? So grab the ace of clubs. Yeah, this is a glorious start. And now what we want to do is make space up here. Put you in a drawer. And now we can't. Oh, that's annoying. Buy the ace of diamonds. Throw it out. We are now very close to perfection. Roll one more time. Where's the Ankh? Where's the Ankh? Where's the Ankh? Where's the Ankh? Equip the Ankh. Very good. Unintentionally made it. That opens up a charm space. Isn't that glorious? So we want a couple more activations here, actually, which we cannot do. Let's get the few we can. The cross that we don't want. The wheelbarrow that we don't want. The money that we don't care about. And now 2 left. Okay. So let's play this next round. Anything fishy here? No. All clean. Good. Do we want, is this gonna happen? Yeah, I think we just trigger the phone too. Yeah, sure. Why not? Go for. We don't have anything fishy. I double check because if you overshoot, life gets really annoying. .666 loves to combine with the bell pepper, or the bell pepper loves to join 666. Ever which way you want to look at that. So now we have 30 and 30, and as you can see, both of those cannot show up anymore. So with the bell pepper we are guaranteed jackpots until now, but in a second we are gonna be guaranteed jackpots all the time. We lose. So sad. Good. So 24. Okay. So reroll. How much is missing? 2. Okay. So buy this. 27. We don't need those guys. We actively don't want those guys. Let's get rid of that, just so we don't forget about it. Now, buy this purse, which we don't need. And now we should be one off. Yes. The wallet, 30, 30, 30, 30, 28. So we now don't need you anymore. We don't want you anymore. We can keep the wallet because it helps us score. We can keep all these fun things because they help us score. We have Baphomet with the scaling. We can equip you so we don't forget. And now we are actually done, I think. Never use those. They are a trap. Because they're going to increase everything by the base value, so all the values will be different again. The very big mushroom is strong, but we do not have any retriggers yet. So it won't really do anything for us. Is that true? It is. Will it come back around? We have space. Let's take it. Because if we need some scoring short term, it can help tremendously. Ah, well, that's nice. We have Abyssu, yes. So now we have 17 charm spaces. And now we can set up the build as much as we want. We don't need lucky charms. We don't need any of these. We just move to the next deadline. Now our focus is going to be Ascension. That's all we want to do now. Ascend. So we're not checking the phone. This is our storage. What did we get? Oh, we got a clock. That's wonderful. And an electrician. That's also wonderful. So grab the clock, grab the electrician, and grab the nuke. We don't need to reroll. We don't care about anything really. Do we care about Baphomet? Not right now. We can trigger next turn. So, as you can see, we can only roll 7s. So let's trigger the clock twice. This gives us a lot of time to set ourselves up. Now we make a bunch of tickets and a bunch of money, which also gives us time to set up. Oh, we got the phone charged. Do we want to trigger it right now? I think we're gonna try to just make the money from this one round. Because we are not yet in the higher deadline, so we only lose the current round if we trigger a 666. If we can get through this first one, that just takes all the pressure off. Jackpot after jackpot. Very nice. We do have a little bit of scaling within the round. Not a lot, but plenty to give us room. 2 more jackpots here. Or the famous last spin 666. Oh, we did get another spin still. Oh, we still have the horseshoe. Right, I think. If so, we can get rid of the horseshoe now. Because we don't actually need all these spins. The clock is recharged, so is the phone. Very good. Casual billion. I think we are fine in terms of money. So now we want to trigger a 666 for the phone call. So we can ascend soon. Do we do this right now? Is there anything we want to roll for? No. So 7 spins, double trigger, and now we already start to scale our multiplier. This is Baphomet, and this is Baphomet. Also gives us a bunch of free rerolls. If we had the Book of Shadows, it would also give us more spins. Yeah, we are off to the races. We can do some more scaling. Yeah, we just lose money. We don't care. Let's go Baphomet. So we already exponentially scale, as you can see, above and below. And since the only thing we can possibly ever spin for is a jackpot, we do get the full value out of that every single spin, unless this happens, of course. But that's not a real issue. Once we ascend and we get the holy charms, we don't even lose any money ever. And at that point, nothing really matters. Okay, now that we have done that, we can make sure that this is a red phone call now. Very good. And there's nothing else we want to do here. So let's just move on. We can get rid of... Oh, shoot. We can also get rid of this guy, but there's no real reason. Did we double activate this guy? We didn't. Let's go next. I want to ascend here. Good, we don't do the deal, we don't check the phone, we just start rolling. So, 7 spins.
Let's go.
Trigger is 666. Guaranteed a red phone call. Another 666. We've already scaled way beyond what we need. Our multiplier is 21,000. Our debt is 41,000. Let's scale some more. Meanwhile, our tickets are going up and up and up, and we can get rid of the capitalist once we are at around a couple thousand tickets. We just need them to roll for one option on the white phone. We can roll for a second one, but it's not that important. Good, so we had the 666s, so we have a red phone call here. Very nice. Which means that's going to be the third strike. So now we have done everything we want to do here. We can move on to the next deadline. Very nice. 3 strikes, and we're going to do the same thing we did before. So 28 billion. Maybe, maybe not. Let's do this. And let's lose 28 billion. We did start the run a little late. You can ascend before this deadline and then you never ever lose your cash. But since we have the exponential scaling going, it really doesn't matter. As you saw, we lost 28 billion or something, and now we have 7 billion back, so we are in no... Here we go. All the money reinstated. Even if we roll another 666 now, it does not matter at all. Case in point. Let's just scale a little more. Okay. 458,000 now. Very nice. And we can click the phone to ascend. Now you could go for this. This will guarantee that you activate the large mushroom with the megaphone and the bathroom. I just really recommend not doing that because the rounds are going to take forever. You really don't need that. So now what we want, since we have the megaphone, we want to do two things. We want to find bathroom. Actually, we don't need bathroom. We don't even need the megaphone. So we are basically done. All we need is to find the correct option here. Let's roll a couple times. We don't yet want Sacred Charms because you're going to overflow our table. We could, but here we go. All equipped Lucky Charms triggered by the red button take one less charge. And this is what we want. Now, with our memory card modifier, this is going to trigger twice. Hello. So the phone will be down to only needing one charge. It will also affect the clock. So if we would find a bathroom, then we could use it on the clock, and you could use the clock with just a couple charges. Honestly, it really doesn't matter. So let's just get this. Now, sometimes this doesn't show immediately. This time it did. We're down to one charge on the phone. And now to finish up our build, there's only, oh, this we like, wine soup. That's some exponential scaling within the round. None of these matter. Be careful with the one trick pony. It can override a 666, which is ironically something you don't want at some point. Book of Shadows would give us more spins, so we could extend everything even further, which really we don't care. Just makes things take longer. But you can, from here on out, you can do whatever you want. Let's see, do we find what we're looking for with our free spins? This is something we do want right now. So we don't need that guy anymore. We don't need Capitalist anymore. We do not need the clock anymore. This is useless now. So you see, we have all the space we want to do whatever we want. This is also not necessary anymore, so let's get you. This we want, the potato battery. And now we are online. We could find some retriggers. We could add the CloverPit to this. We don't have to. Like, honestly, we're good now. Let's see, do we find anything interesting here? Anything fun? Once again, careful with these. You do not ever want to make your 7s more valuable because this would break. Only use things that multiply all the symbol space values. Then you're gonna be good. We can use Virago to overflow the table, but I think we have everything we could ever want, so there's not really a need to. Let's try to find the CloverPit just because it makes the number go big, and that's kind of fun. It is a rare, so... Oh yeah, we can use Gabib. Gabib helps make more money, number go big. Let's do. So, what else is here? Free rerolls, we like. This is a trap. We don't want the train, we don't need this guy. We could use that guy. We could make this deadline go longer. There's really no need to. Here's the CloverPit, and here's the Book of Shadows, which you could use. I recommend you don't. You could also generate more tickets. I don't think you need that at all. Now, there's one more space left. Let's find something. Don't use this because it does increase pattern value by their base value, so it will screw up your guaranteed jackpots. This could be fine. It's really not relevant. This could be fine. It's really also not relevant. This gives us more rounds, which we don't really care for. 4K in here. We need 160. Okay. Pareidolia, useless because we have a jackpot, so we have more patterns than the eye pattern. Pareidolia, a build that can't be made work right now. At least not deterministically. Okay, 144, so we can't even do a full spin. I mean, that's all of this is perfectly fine. Look, here, let's get the diary so we have an easier time on the phone. Now let's do the last little thing. Let's equip the nuclear button. We have Virago. So where is the nuclear button? We throw it away. And then we put Virago in the drawer. Then we can equip one more charm, but we can't roll right now, so let's play one round.
Let's go gamble.
Get some of that reroll money. And the phone is back online. So yeah, E12, we can trigger the phone. We don't even have the nuclear button, so this is half the scaling we could have. Also, the phone is not going to recharge now because the potato battery is not going to activate, which it will once we use the nuclear button. A little bit of reroll money here. Important, you want to get rid of the Clover pot. We could get rid of it now. You don't have to. I recommend doing it. So let's do it. This because it's funny. We could bring back a Clover pot. No, don't do it. None of these matter. None of this matters. Horseshoe doesn't matter. Yeah, so honestly, there's nothing else you need. Funny. Also a trap. This would never trigger, I think, from here on out. I wouldn't risk it though. Don't need a Bible, don't need any of these. We could do this just because it's funny. Let's do that. And one more for the road. Yeah. Here's a fun thing. We have the nuclear button in Virago, and we can find it in the shop. I've only seen this happen with the nuclear button so far. What I do know is that you cannot get it twice. So if I buy it now and then I throw away Virago, it will just replace it. There's not going to be two nuclear buttons. What else can we do here? HR. You could have this char, the number 1, in your lineup and also bring it down to only 1 charge. Then you could guarantee the big mushroom triggers because the potato battery would also recharge the number 1. We didn't do that and it's really unnecessary. You don't need the extra scaling. It's just not important. We could just bring the capitalist along so we get some tickets. Yeah, I think that's fine. That rounds out the gang nicely. So now we equip the megaphone. That's 17 out of 16 charms. And we technically don't even need the evil deal, but it does double our multipliers, so might as well keep it. And then are we full? We are full. 17 of 16. Throw out Morago. 18 out of 15. And now we can just move on and start adding holy charms. So let's see, we are done here. Of course, you could milk this deadline until forever, but there's no need. And now we go in here, and you could do this. That will guarantee the mushroom, but I'm gonna show you why I don't usually do that. So if we go here, let's spin 3 times. 2 of those are gonna be 6s. So that's Baphomet. That's also Baphomet. Now we could trigger him again. I don't wanna. Now we don't really get the full experience. That's sad. I wanted to show you a jackpot. Should we go again? Yeah, let's do 1 jackpot. 3 spins should be plenty. So this is a jackpot. Crispy, quick, scales exponentially. All is fine. Glorious. And rounds actually pass. Now what we can do is trigger patterns 1 more time. Triggers once, triggers twice from the memory card, triggers 1 more time from the megaphone. So now we have 3 triggers per pattern. Let's look at a jackpot now. Yeah, it takes a lot more time. Now let me show you something else fun. Since we are on the Ascension build, triggering 999 now not only triggers Baphomet, it also gives us the value of the last 999 back. So we are guaranteed to always make money. From here on out, all we want to do is go to the next deadline. And we want to start spawning sacred charms. So, sacred charms here. And now we want to vest which ones we got. Because, as I said, the blood is fine to have. Our 7s will get the chain modifier. That's perfect. The body is not fine to have. It's going to give our 7s the golden modifier, so throw it out. Or better, put it in a drawer. The halo is glorious. We don't need mushrooms. We can't use any charms anyways, but this is just a habit at this point. What I should have done with the body is put it in a drawer so it can't respawn, because there's a bunch of lucky charms of sacred charms we do want. We just can't have the body, and we can't have any of the symbols change their values ever again. So these modifiers are all fine. We only have 7s anyways, so it's gonna add a little bit to our patterns. It will slow things down.
Let's go.
I'll show you quickly. The more modifiers there are, the more processing is going on. And I mean, in terms of animations, I think they're queued up to show what's triggered. So if you want this to go faster, just remove everything that adds modifiers. You don't need any of them. They're just bonuses. Let's get through this. Yeah, that's the full build. From here on out, you scale exponentially, guaranteed with the phone, and you can scale as much as you want, as long as you want. It's a matter of grit at this point. Let's maybe do one full deadline, just to see how ridiculous this is. Up. Finish it up. Very nice, very nice. We do have stuff to do, indeed. So we go next. Good, good, good. So here we once again want to roll to find some sacred charms. We're in no hurry. We're gonna have all the rounds we want. You could also double the jackpot here, which will triple or 8-tuple it, or octuple, I don't know what the word would be. What we want are sacred charms. And yes, this does decrease our multipliers, but we don't really care. It's getting annoying. Yeah, I can't be bothered. Let's do this. Whatever. None of these matter. Now we start. Let's just do a full deadline. We start with Baphomet. So the first rolls are always going to be scaling. Now what we want to do is do one regular roll. Sadly, not a jackpot. Would have preferred a jackpot here. We don't need it to be a jackpot. Now this didn't have an up or a down, so this is a very low score. Let's do one more. I think it's fine to do one more here. Yes, so we get one of the full jackpots. So this will be our new baseline of income for this one round. And it is E16. Okay. Now we trigger Baphomet. And not only does that make Baphomet scale, it also, if you saw that, gave us the E16 again, because 999 will give you the full sum of all the income of the round from before. Good. Now, for some reason, the potato battery did not work here. That is interesting because... Oh, because we do have rewards now. We do have the rewards. Ah, yes. And here we go. That's the last spin, and the last spin is E19. So that's 3 E's in round 1. Now let's go round 2. Do the same thing. We haven't made any money yet. So what we do here is we trigger everything. Plus the potato battery. Now we want to spin for one jackpot if we could. Nice. So we were at E19. E18. Now let's do 2 more Baphomets. E19. E20. Oh, sad. Still, we're gonna have up and down, which are more important than the jackpot, so this doesn't really matter. E21. So we started at E16, we're now at E22. Still 1 round left to go. We could use our rerolls here that the bell gives us to find tapes, but honestly, it just takes more time. So here we get our scaling. You know the drill by now. This is 100% predictable. The only chance for this not to be ideal is when we get individual 6s on these scoring spins. E21 already. More scaling, please. So what do we do now? Second to last spin. Now obviously you could hold the catnip for 2 extra spins. You could have the Book of Shadows giving you guaranteed 6 more spins per round. You could do all these things. I just find it takes too long. And the last spin is an obstructed one, which is fine. We still end up with a score of total of E23. We started at 16, we're now at 23. So we are good for a while. Yeah. And that's without optimizing for CloverPit. We only have 164 here, only 486 here. So the wallet, the CloverPit are only doing a little bit. But from here on out, we do want to find, if we can, the offending bills don't matter because we have guaranteed jackpots anyways. You could also take the offending bills instead of doing all the shenanigans with the values and the expired medicine. Every time you score 9, double the patterns multiplier. Every time you score 9 plus 1 pattern repetition. Good stuff that we would want. This is the one we don't want. This is the one we have. This one we also have, but it doesn't do anything. The Sacred Heart, also nice, gives you more phone activations, even though we don't need more phone activations. And the Holy Spirit could be fun. I don't know. I feel like it doesn't do a lot, and it might add obsessive, and then you have too many triggers. The Eye of God is fine because it will give you exponential scaling on top of everything. Whenever you score an eye pattern, which you do every round that you score, you earn again all coins earned from every 999 during the run. So this is accumulative, but still that adds up quickly because your 999s add up during the round, if you remember. And then the Angel's Hand is just gonna make things take longer, so I recommend not taking the Angel's Hand. Yeah, this is the build.